Each day for devotions, I use a book that I've been using for many years. And there's actually 4 of these that are similar in title, and I like them because they're connected to the lectionary readings for each week, for each day, for each year. And the book is entitled A Guide to Prayer for All Who Walk with God. And like I said, there's a couple other titles. I happen to like this one best. And Bishop Reuben Job, who was a wonderful United Methodist bishop, is the one who designed and put these 4 books together. A week and a half ago, I started vacation. And I read this as the focus was on prayer. And I just want to read it to you. It's a quote from Bishop Job and Presbyterian clergywoman Marjorie Thompson in a book called Companions in Christ. And I was struck very deeply by these words. A loving, living relationship with God is impossible without prayer. We cannot know the mind and heart of Christ, receive God's direction, hear God's voice, or respond to God's call without this means of grace. We may enter God's kingdom without the benefit of some of the means of grace, but not without prayer. Prayer is so important that Jesus left even the needy crowd to pray. His entire life and ministry were set in the context of prayer. Those who choose to follow him can do no better than to take up this example. And I was struck by these words. A loving, living relationship with God is impossible without prayer. Prayer is so important that Jesus left even the needy crowd to pray. I think the human tendency is to make things harder than they needs to be. And while I don't wear a lot of Nike clothing when I go to the gym, that slogan, "Just do it," rings true even when it comes to prayer. You can't pray wrongly. And God, even if we focus selfishly on prayer, will, through the practice, begin to open our hearts and minds to be more inclusive of the whole world. It happens in the Lord's Prayer. It happens in our lives. So here's the thing. Set aside some time. Doesn't have to be long. Doesn't have to be in the morning. Doesn't have to be in the afternoon. Doesn't have to be at night. If you want to follow a practice that I do, I pray when I get out of bed, Lord, this day belongs to you. I pray the Lord's Prayer at noon. And before I go to bed, I give thanks to God for the good and the bad of the day. Ask God for protection while I rest, and to wake me tomorrow with a great attitude of serving Christ. And in between, I ask for grace. And I ask grace at meals. So it gives me about 5 times of prayer each day. And often as a pastor, I'll just stop and pray with someone who says, hey, I'm having a tough time, or life is going pretty hard, or this person's sick or ill in my family. But just do it. Don't talk about it. It's not sufficient to talk about prayer. You have to just do it. Pray each day, and God will meet you there. May God bless you.